Joining us on NewsX, Samudar Pratap Singh. Breaking news coming in top of the hour. A video has emerged that Congress MP and leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, you can see him there seated inside a Delhi Transport Corporation bus. It's a DTC bus that Rahul Gandhi is in after being detained by the Delhi police during a protest that the Congress was holding at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg earlier in Delhi. These are latest visuals coming in of the leader of opposition Lok Sabha. You can see him in detention. He is in a bus. Currently, Atul Ranjan is joining us for more on this story. Atul, talk us through this latest visual that has come in of Rahul Gandhi after his detention. Atul, can you hear me?
Yes, Uday, I can hear you.
I'm trying to ask you about this visual which we can see of Rahul Gandhi in detention.
Well, yes, as I said, Rahul Gandhi was, really sort of, putting up a fight, in fact, I would say, against Delhi police. When Delhi police tried to, grab him and, put him into the bus, Rahul Gandhi essentially lay down over the ground at the protest site itself. And, he put utmost effort, in fact, to avoid getting detained by Delhi police. In fact, and, he kept speaking to media as well back then. And, he told that, this is how democracy looks like. And democracy to India this is what it exactly means. This kind of words Rahul Gandhi was, speaking to media while being detained. But clearly we saw dramatic scenes because Rahul Gandhi, put up a great sort of, resistance to Delhi police. But Delhi police ultimately, several of the Delhi police personnel, in fact, lifting him up through arms and through his legs. And then, were able to put him into the bus. And in fact, in the same bus as in which Akhilesh Yadav was also earlier put in.
Yes.
So quite, dramatic scenes that unfolded, and also similar scenes with Priyanka Gandhi as well later.
All right. Thank you, Atul, for joining us with those details. Now, the Cockroach Janata Party protests born out of widespread anger over examination scams like the NEET leaks have swept the nation, pulling in students, parents and a host of celebrities as well. What started as an online satirical movement has escalated into street agitations at Jantar Mantar and marches towards Parliament marked by clashes, lathi charges and tear gas as well. Celebrities such as Huma Qureshi, Bhumi Pednekar, Anurag Kashyap, Shabana Azmi, Ritesh Deshmukh, Jinilia Deshmukh, Richa Chadda, Dia Mirza, Atul Kulkarni, Prakash Raj, Konkona Sen Sharma and others have extended support. Many condemning police action, many backing the demands of accountability, while supporters are hailing it as solidarity with youth aspirations. Critics are arguing that it blurs the line between genuine concern and headline-seeking interventions. Now, the pattern is, of course, not new. Well, we do remember Deepika Padukone's high-profile visit to the JNU campus amidst the 2020 CAA protests that happened just ahead of a film, Chapak's release. It drew both praise for her solidarity and it also drew a sharp backlash. Some linked it then to the mixed box office outcomes for the film and polarized discourse around her projects. Similar instances also include celebrity activism during the farmers' protests or other campus stirs as well, where timing near film releases often did raise questions of PR strategy over sustained commitment. We also saw international stars weigh in on that. Some questioned their selective outrage. Now, are these interventions also guiding the youth towards solutions and reform? Or, as critics say, are they risking egging them on, stirring division and prioritizing optics over constructive dialogue? Well, celebrities, of course, command massive influence and must wield a responsibility, challenging youth energy into lawful advocacy, policy engagement and systemic fixes rather than confrontation or, of course, or other stunts as well. As the debate, of course, intensifies, the core question remains moral support for genuine grievances or PR. What is leaving the youth more polarized? Who is speaking for the genuine cause? Who is speaking with the right heart? These are all questions, of course, that many are asking. Let's quickly open it up to our panel. Joining us live, Shekhar Vijayan, political analyst. We also have Suti Ghosh, film critic and RJ joining us live. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, is live with us. Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, is also joining the broadcast. Many thanks to all of you for being with us. Shekhar Vijayan, let me begin with you first. How do you view the celebrity support that this current Cockroach Janata Party protest has got? Many, of course, visiting the protest site, others backing them online on social media. This protest has actually got a lot more visible celebrity support than many other protests that we've seen in the recent past in India, although I've highlighted some other instances where we did see some celebrity backing, but this has seen a much wider ones, of course. Is it in the right intention, the right earnest, Shekhar? Do you welcome it or do you question it?
Uday, thank you for having me over, and good evening to all my fellow panelists. I think support is always important. The youth needs all the support, all the empathy, all the sympathy for what they're doing right now. I think they need all the support. There's nothing wrong in that. But we should not be weaponizing their anger. I think what the youth really needs is they're really fighting it out there, as we see right now while what's going on in Jantar Mantar, and it's very sad to see them getting beaten up like this. What they really need is direction. You need to weaponize their anger and use it well. I think where a celebrity really comes in is using the reach, how they can amplify it, how can they give a sense of direction, how can they give a sense of pull, and try to minimize the situation in terms of not getting anger into it. I think that's important. See, the youth needs empathy, but they also need responsibility. And with celebrities coming in, they should be amplifying the solutions, not amplifying the anger. Because in such a situation, there is so much of anger, there is so much of unrest, there is so much of frustration. The youth are fighting against the system. They are fighting against a wall. And what they really need right now is support.
But who decides that? Who decides that, Shekhar Vijayan? Who decides whether they are, amplifying the anger or whether they are helping, increase the cause for solutions and amplify a genuine protest? Who decides that?
I think for the celebrity themselves, if we're talking about celebrities, they also have a responsibility. They are also role models for a lot of youngsters out there. I think what's really important is how the celebrity really takes ownership for this and tries to make a difference, rather than adding more fuel to the fire and trying to take the protest into a different direction in terms of politicizing it, or making the youngsters feel astray. I think right now what's really important is for the youngsters, or for the people who are a part of the protest right now in Jantar Mantar, they are fighting against a wall. They're fighting against something which they cannot handle or tackle, and it's not easy for them. They've been doing this for the last so many days, for the last 3 weeks. What's important here is, if the celebrity is amplifying it, they need to do it in the right way, in giving them a sense of direction, giving them a sense of hope, and also trying to ensure that it's done in the most peaceful way. Protests have happened in the past, Uday. We've seen protests happen in the past in India many times earlier also. But what's important is, can it be done in a peaceful way? Can that anger which they have, can that frustration which they have, can that unrest which they have, can it be channelized?
Right.
In a more
Suti Ghosh, let me bring you in here. Celebrities also, at the end of the day, are people. They have causes close to them. They have political ideologies as well close to them as well. And very often we see them, though, not really showing that out in public. Celebrities are often criticized, at least in India, for not speaking up and not speaking enough for issues publicly. Now, here, a lot of them have decided to do that, to back the CJP stir, to actually back the cause of the students, but yet criticism is coming in. How do you view, the stir, how it has panned out in the last 24 to 36 hours, and the very vocal celebrity backing that we're seeing this time around?
Right. Thank you so much for having me, Uday. I think how I view this, how I look at this, is it's no longer a party protest. It's not about which political party you're supporting. It is about real causes, real issues that the youth of this country are raising. They want empathy, yes. They want sympathy and direction, yes. But they're asking some very specific questions. They have some very specific demands. They want accountability. They want to know if they're only going to be met with apathy, or are people listening? And this question they are posing, not just to our political leaders, not just to the head of government, but they're also asking celebrities. Now, remember, these are celebrities, stand-up comics, influencers. We are in attention economy. These are the people who thrive because you have people giving them their attention, even if for 60 seconds, who buy their tickets, who are their fans, who want to go and watch their films, want to go and attend their concerts. And now these very kids are turning around and asking, do you care about us? So I think the time for celebrities to sit on the fence, to be neutral, to have the comfort of saying, oh, I don't understand politics, that's gone. Time's up. If I speak on very crass terms, it's also terrible business decision, because the youth of the country right now fully aware of who's speaking for them and who isn't. Because let's face it, particularly our Bollywood celebrities, I'm going to talk about others a little later, but Bollywood celebrities haven't really been ones who have kept a safe distance from any political party for that matter. We've seen them part of some celebrated selfies. We've seen them with ghanta in hand going and being invited to state events. We have seen them fully endorsing government plans and tweeting in synchronized fashion. Today, they are being called out. You know, whether it's the Kapoors, the big names, they're being called out when they're silent because the visuals we saw from Delhi, so distressing. And I'm sure everybody on the panel here today will understand that when you see young students who are peacefully protesting, who simply want accountability, I don't know why Sir is laughing, but we have visuals, and till the time we do not get doctored videos, we all know what is happening, how the women were hit by the police, how we still haven't got the answers. So these are celebrities, whether Dia Mirza, Shabana Azmi, such veterans like Nasiruddin Shah,
Right.
who understand that if you alienate the youth right now, you will not be able to face them.
Now, it's interesting. Suti, you're saying basically that the celebrities who are not speaking are actually being questioned rather than the ones who have spoken.
Absolutely.
But the ones who have spoken, some are questioning who is doing it genuinely and who is doing it simply for good PR as well, because we often see that in other cases as well, where sometimes causes are picked up for grabbing headlines.
Uday, if I may just add, this is not, I would reiterate, this is not a CJP protest. This is, if you're talking about students today, if you're asking for a resignation of the education minister because paper leaks have happened, this is not one political party against the other. In fact, if anything, the students have spoken about how they don't support Abhijit Dipke, or they do not think that they are part of a political outfit and therefore anti-government because they're supporting somebody else. These are just people. This is pent-up anger and a complete lack of governance. So this is a very real issue. This is an issue people are angry with. There are people who are not students, who have nothing to do with this. We've seen instances of people just randomly sending food articles through Swiggy and Zomato in any and whatever way, somehow add their support to what is happening. School kids are in this protest. College kids are in this protest. Parents who have lost kids, who are scared about the future of their children, are in this protest. This is not a political protest. Therefore, they are looking at celebrities who till now enjoyed their love. They're looking at them and they're specifically asking, where are you now that we are hurting?
Himanshu Bhatt, come in here. I'm sure you want to respond to Suti as well. But Himanshu Bhatt, according to you, of course, the celebrity support, do you find it genuine, or do you find vested interests at play here, which are trying to hijack this protest by the CJP and the students?
When started, they asked for Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation. After that, it was only after Wangchuk's arrest that they talked of Dharmendra Pradhan again. In between, they changed their goalposts for 25-30 times. And you had number of celebrities jumping in one after the other. See, when from the stage of CJP, someone is going to say, Allah tera naam rahega. I'm specific. Allah tera naam rahega.
I'm a student of literature. I'm sorry, Allah tera naam rahega.
Madam, I did not speak a single word when you were talking. You please keep, have that patience and have that accountability within you. Please do that. They are going to talk about Sitapati. Is this Indian culture? Is this India respect? You are talking of youth, and you are talking of Nasiruddin Shah and Shabana Azmi. Yes, they are over their hill. They are known. This is the same brigade, this is the same toolkit which came out 10 years ago when they did this award Wapsi. And people, one after another. Who is Shabana Azmi? She was a leftist Leninist core member. Now she runs an NGO that gets a grant from a British Christian organization. of 85 to 110 crores per
Yes.
annum.
Now let's not
Let us
no
do
let's
things
not
right now.
now let's not make it
They are the
personal.
people
No, one
with
second.
the
Let's not
vested
make it
interest.
one second. Let's not
Because
make it
something
personal
else is
now,
happening in the
celebrity by
culture.
celebrity, because they are not here to defend themselves. We're talking about a wider issue. We're talking about a wider issue. Yes, Himanshu.
So what is happening here is this is selective outrage by selective number of people. And selective people are making an outrage about this. This protest could have been stayed students' protest. But give me an answer first that 21 lakh rupee lunch and dinner bill every day. Who puts that? First give me an answer. When people are saying it's a non-political one, give me an answer to that.
Okay, so Suti, there you have the counter argument coming in that there are vested interests, that celebrities are doing it for a reason, and that this is all being funded by certain lobbies, and this is a toolkit, as you heard from Himanshu. Your counter.
I mean, I'm really aghast as a student of literature, and Uday, you would agree. This is a poem by Faiz Ahmad Faiz. It is anything but talking literally about a single religion. It is against atrocity, irrespective of where you are. And this is the nuance that certain sections of the society and certain sections of people who support this government have routinely not understood. So, there's just so much you want to say about that. As far as Sita ke pati, Siyapati Ramchandra is what we have heard since we've been kids. So this is, nitpicking, and this is basically, I think what is happening right now is the youth of this country, the Gen Zs that we till now were laughing about and joking and saying they have no clue about what is happening. They are showing us the way. They are saying enough is enough. These are kids who now want jobs. These are kids who want to stay in this country and they want to study. For years, our parents have told us that education is the only way you can change your life.
Right.
These are kids who want to do that. They're not getting the answer.
Organic, genuine.
Give me a second.
Organic, genuine. One second, I'll come back to you, Himanshu. I need to get in the others now. They haven't spoken a word. I'll come back. I'll come back to you for a detailed response, please. Gautam Mukherjee, also let me bring you in here, because you've heard out some of the others now. Gautam, I'd like your perspective as well. Is organic, Gen Z protest for the right causes, or vested interests at play here? Also, the celebrity support, is that helping bring about the solutions you believe, or is that taking it to a different direction?
Well, from what I can see, the entire protest has been hijacked by all sorts of people. There are jihadis there. There are communists by the trainload from Kerala there. There is, as Himanshu pointed out, a lot of money being spent by people who are trying to fan the flames. The violence, 90% of it, it was caused by goons who are 50 years old. They're bald like me, and they were attacking the police. 118 of them were injured. These people never sought permission to go to Parliament, let alone realizing perhaps that they wouldn't be given it under Section 144. But where did they get the crowds from? These are not students. I have every sympathy for people who want the NEET process reformed. And in fact, the government has also stated today that they are quite happy to have a discussion on it. But who's discussing in Parliament? There are goons on the street and there are goons in Parliament.
Okay, and the celebrity support, is that helping the solutions, or is that distracting from the real issue?
No, these are over-the-hill celebrities with vested interests. They're 70 plus, 80, 90. These people are turning up, people who have no traction as celebrities anymore. They're turning up to get a bit of free publicity here. It is a toolkit offering, and this is nothing to do with the youth anymore. 10% of the youth, 90%.
Okay, Manasvi Thapar, the protest has been hijacked by other elements, believes Gautam Mukherjee. Is that something you agree with? Manasvi Thapar, political analyst, also with us. Manasvi, also the celebrity presence and support, is it amplifying the cause? Is it giving them more mileage? Is it leading to more youth joining because celebrities are also influencers? Or is it distracting from the real issue? Manasvi Thapar, what's your take?
Uday, I don't understand 90% goons and 10% youth, 90% bald people, 10% with hair. And I don't understand celebrities, non-celebrities, youth, non-youth. But what is the moot question? The moot question is 70 plus papers have been leaked in our country. These students are protesting for the leak which is happening under Dharmendra Pradhan. It's the simple thing. You say ki mera ling, nahi ling, Sita ka pati, not Sita ka pati. These things are not the core issue. These are just issues to be debated on a television channel. While the moot question, the only question which is in the mind of the entire youth, the youth is not something which will favor BJP or Congress or Cockroach Janata Party. They would only want a plain cheat-proof paper. They would want an examination which will be bulletproof, airtight examination. What is their ask? They are saying, if you as an education minister cannot protect our interests, just resign. And that is the reason Sonam Wangchuk or the so-called celebrities, not so-called elite, the Lutians or whatever you would want, jihadis, terrorists, whatever. I would say these jihadis, these terrorists, these bald people, these 90% goons still care about our youth. While those people who have been elected by our youth are not caring about our youth themselves. BJP is a political party which has been bettered by youth the most. All the 18 plus people, the first vote they have given is to BJP. The only person they trust is Narendra Modi. These are the people. They don't trust Rahul Gandhi. They don't trust Arvind Kejriwal. They don't trust anyone. These toolkits don't matter to them. They only think what matter to them is an exam which is not leaked. Are they asking enough? What we are saying is they have been beaten, tear gas. अंग्रेजों से बुरा हाल कर दिया हमने अपने फ्यूचर का, अपने यूथ का, and we are saying we are okay with it. We are saying शबाना आजमी को फंडिंग मिल रही है इसलिए वो गलत है. We are saying कुणाल कामरा एक कॉमेडियन आके कोई स्टेज पे बोलते हैं इसलिए वो गलत है. पर मूड क्वेश्चन क्या है उदय? The only question which is in the mind of the youth and the parents is कि हमारे बच्चे एग्जाम देने जाते हैं, कल को वो सुसाइड कर लेंगे क्योंकि धर्मेंद्र प्रधान मिनिस्टर है. He cannot protect his bureaucrats. He cannot protect himself. He cannot protect the entire academy.
Himanshu Bhatt, respond to that. Himanshu Bhatt, respond to that.
Let me ask you one thing. Who says on Jantar Mantar, the protest which was going on for 30 days had a moot basic thing of paper leak and Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation? No, it was not so. Every 30 days they have talked anything and everything but the paper leaks and the future of you. That is my problem. And that's why I had a small question.
You know that it's about
youth. Manasvi, please listen me out.
Himanshu,
I'm not telling you no.
You don't know that it's a.
What you are saying is correct. We care for the youth. We do care for the youth, but the problem here is they were not talking about youth.
Whatever they talk about.
Of these 20 million members of CJP, what people posted online, how many are Indian youth? Not even 2%.
So that's why you will not.
2%.
It's 0.2% are Indians.
The people present on the Jantar Mantar were not youth.
Uday, paper leak हुए कि नहीं हुए?
Nobody is saying no, Baba. But there is a way to ask it. There is a way to ask it. For that you don't bulldoze. You don't bully.
तो bulldoze किया. ये youth के बाद bulldozer है.
Jantar Mantar people bullied.
Whom?
People tried to have smart.
लाठीचार्ज बच्चे खा रहे. आप पता नहीं कौन सा मीडिया देख रहे हो जहाँ पे लाठीचार्ज हमारे बच्चे खा रहे, टीयर गैस बच्चों पे आ रहा है.
लाठीचार्ज, you break the law every time and say you don't give me hit me with a lathi also.
अच्छा, लाठी भी खाएंगे.
Suti Ghosh. Okay. One at a time now. Suti Ghosh. One second. One at a time. No.
Uday, you have to allow me.
Please. No. You both had your say. Manasvi and Himanshu, please. Manasvi, Himanshu, please. Now let's pause this. Otherwise I'll have to mute you. I don't like muting my guests, but I'm going to have to mute you both. Please. We have to allow the others as well. I allowed you both your interventions. Suti Ghosh, come in here. Suti, you can of course respond to the points you've heard from Gautam and Himanshu. They've of course labeled some of the protesters, saying that this is what happens at the genuine cause, perhaps that was there at the start, has been hijacked somewhere, is what they believe. They're also talking about what happened yesterday, saying the protesters also must look inwards. If there was violence used, then the police sometimes has no choice. Stuti.
Uday, I'm very fond of you, but we really need to understand when we can speak at a normal level and be heard, because when you scream, really nobody understands anything. And also, to speak the truth, you do not need to scream. I think we have to
You
understand
don't
it
need
is
to
about.
and which tone I talk. Ma'am, you don't be it. You don't be too smart. I
Sir,
know.
I am so
I
worried
know
about
well.
your
I
BP.
have got 50 years
Please
more
take
than
care.
you.
Please have a glass of water.
No, please, madam. Please, madam. Do not. Do not. I'll raise my voice again. If you talk like this,
Sir,
you think you are a sophisticated Bollywood agent? Yes, you can be. You be what
No,
you
no,
are.
please.
You want to call me anything, you call
No,
me.
one
know
second.
that I
One
will
second.
just
No, no,
come
one
to the
second.
point.
One
You
second.
know, I
Himanshu, no, no, no. Please, please, please. No, no, one second. One second. Please. Let's not make it personal. Okay, 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 okay. Now let's relax. Let's calm down. Himanshu, let's not. No, no, one second. Let's not make it personal. And Suti, let's come back to the point. Let's come back to the point. Let's not make it personal. This is a much wider issue. This is a much wider issue. There's a much wider issue. Let's talk about the moot point. You know, we see this in Hollywood. We see this in Hollywood, and you also were saying earlier that you're going to talk about India, and then we'll get to the West in just a second. We see it in Hollywood as well, Suti, where, you know, actors and celebrities, they are very vociferous. You know, they were very vociferously against Donald Trump, and they were very for Donald Trump as well in equal measure. More, of course, against him in the previous election. We saw that. And they speak up about other issues at award shows and all of that. We don't see that in India so much. Why is that, Suti? And is this proving why as well, when we see celebrities speak up, but then they're trolled as well?
Right. I don't envy the celebrities. I don't envy the celebrities here, because you have to pay a price. You have to pay a price for speaking the truth anywhere in the world, irrespective of what government is in power. But what is important is to understand that we might, and I'm not here giving out certificates of who's an agent and who's a jihadi and who's what, but whether you call them celebrities, whether you call them industrialists, they are citizens of this country.
Okay.
And they need to empathize with the issues that the common citizen of this country is facing. Right now, the issue that is of prime importance is lack of accountability as far as our education system is concerned. And we would not have reached here had this complete apathy and arrogance from those in power not pushed people to literally the brink. So I think even for celebrities, it's really no longer about should we speak. I think a lot of them are very brave, and they are really putting a
Shekhar,
lot.
this is the conundrum. This is the conundrum as well. Of course, some celebrities do speak up. Some of them have, PR reasons to do it. Some don't.
And some are speaking up now because it is difficult. They're also citizens.
And this is often, this is often compared to the West, Shekhar, where celebrities, they are very vociferous for causes. But it's not the case in India. And, they criticize for that. But then when they speak up, then that is criticized as well. So is it a catch-22? How do you view it, Shekhar?
See, this calls for a dialogue. There's a stark difference, Uday, between what happens in the West and what happens in India. In India, there's a risk of many things. You get trolled, your families get threatened, you have income tax rates, everything happens here, right? And so the celebrities also are a little careful. If the film is up for release, they're a little scared nobody will come and watch the film. There are so many things on the anvil here, as compared to the Western world. We cannot compare that. Both the worlds are very different. I think what is really important here, the government has to take responsibility. The government has to listen to the people.
Okay.
We would not have reached the stage if the government had not heard the youngsters.
Himanshu, what responding to
you? And
the government is an elected government by the people through majority. Today, NDA is running the government, and it is running the government with 292 seats, which is a clear-cut majority in the House. So let's not talk that the will of the people is not listened. The majority will of the people in a democracy, when it is listened, the government is legitimate. Do not try to put everything on government.
Mr. Bhatt, Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, government is for the people. One sec, Mr. Bhatt, you can stop shouting. Sir, can you cool down a bit? Sir, can you cool down a bit?
We people
We're
seem to
also
have
listening
that
to you,
habit
sir.
of, only sitting and criticizing everyone.
Nobody's criticizing anybody here, sir. You don't have to take it so personally. We're talking about the
I'm
government.
not
The
taking
government is all
anything
elected.
personally. I'm just trying to tell you something that this government is a majority elected democratic
Understood,
government.
understood, sir.
And
Everybody knows this.
when you
Everybody
know
knows.
that,
Everybody
how
knows
can you
this
say
government is.
that government has to listen to the people? It has been listening to the
No,
people. That's why
Manasvi, this
people
is
elected
Manasvi, this is the
If the
counter.
government was, if the government was
Manasvi,
listening, if the
You
government
do
was
not become
listening, we would not be
anti-national
having this
to ask
position
questions.
right now, where we are fighting over
because
this.
they have not presented that
Manasvi, this
case.
is the counter.
Only
Manasvi,
on
this is the
day
counter.
one they
You know,
say
that's
Samaya
what Kangana Ranaut and Hema Malini are also saying, who are of course BJP MPs, but they're also celebrities in their own right. They are saying the government is there, the faith should be there in the government, the protesters should not
Can't only
dictate.
members of a political party.
Yes, yes. Manasvi Thapar.
Yeah, Uday. I feel love for BJP is one thing and love for nation is the another thing. I think today for the first time I feel that love for nation has been backseated by love for BJP, and that is what is very concerning. And this is something which should not happen. We may have affiliations, we may have love for our own party, we may love a leader also. That is not something wrong. But what is happening right now, Uday, is that some mistake has been made by BJP. Our youth cannot, our youth don't deserve tear gas.
Gautam Mukherjee. Very quickly, Gautam Mukherjee.
Yes, I'd like to get my say in if Manasi stops. Well done. Now, what I'm trying to say is they have been called to Parliament to debate NEET. Are they going to do it? I have my doubts. And what has, they've raised slogans on everything, like Himanshu said, except NEET and the paper leaks. So what is this movement about?
Okay, Suti Ghosh, is it organic? Suti Ghosh, does it remain as someone yourself who backs the cause? Is it still an organic and genuine protest according to you, or is it getting hijacked?
Absolutely. These are average, regular citizens of this country, and we have to understand, no matter how much you
average, regular citizens who
you have to understand that questioning the government does not amount to being anti-national. Questioning a decision by the government does not mean
lorries
you are
of
not a proud
stones and
citizen of
bricks
this
were
country.
delivered.
They have every
How this anything to do with
it was the government who supplied a lorry of stones for people to stone throw. Government supplied
stones at kids.
Yes, Manasvi. Yes, 30 seconds. Okay, I'm out of time.
I don't understand.
Uday. Girls were physically...
Okay, I just need 30 seconds. Uday, I don't understand this bizarre logic of anyone, even a toddler of India would understand कि पेपर लीक हुआ है, जिस बंदे के कारण पेपर लीक हुआ है.
पेपर लीक की बात ही नहीं हुई है.
पेपर लीक की बात नहीं कर रहे. Why are we talking?
I'm out of time.
Kashmir.
I'm out of
What are
time.
we talking about?
I'm out of time. This is, of course, this is an issue. This is a big story that we will keep our focus on and keep our eye on. But for the time being, we've completely run out of time. For joining us with your very healthy perspectives and discussions. Thank you to all our guests for being with us. Let me quickly take a short break on that note. We're back on the other side with lots more. Don't go anywhere.